Hey guys, how's it going? Kripparrian here. So one card that has been pretty interesting throughout the Trinkets patch is the Ancestral Automaton. Now that's the mech that starts at 2/5 and gets kind of like an aura-like buff for each one that you have summoned. Not necessarily played, even though playing is summoning it, but summon, which means in combat triggers. Now this card also has a lesser trinket that is quite good, but not only has the lesser trinket been nerfed, but the card itself has been nerfed. I think on release it was +3 attack, +2 health on a non-golden automaton aura trigger, and now it's down to +2 attack, +1 health. So a lot worse if you think about it, but again, it's one of those things where people have learned the true power of this card, and while this has been nerfed, just about everything that's been really strong except Leapfrogs has been nerfed since the turn of the season. So actually it's still hanging in there, but you typically need a hero that is particularly good at it. And for this strategy in particular, there is none better than Teron Gorefiend. Today I want to give you guys the absolute best game I have seen with Ancestral Automaton to give you guys a look at the top of the mountain. Enjoy.
And so the game begins. You'll have to train that one up for you.
It's ironic that mech builds are the ones that crash the Blizzard mechs.
And the crowd goes wild.
I do have a serious question though. So like, I don't know what it was, like 7 years ago, I went to BlizzCon, and at BlizzCon they have this area where it's like old art pieces. It's kind of like the BlizzCon museum, and usually they have like a silent auction for some of them. One of the things they had was an original server block from World of Warcraft. Now here's the thing. When I played World of Warcraft around the time it came out, the performance wasn't amazing, but it was pretty good.
Play your best out there.
With the modern hardware that we supposedly have access to now, why does World of Warcraft Classic lag still? Serious question.
How's the game going?
Poor unfortunate souls.
Netcode? Our hardware isn't that much better than back then. Really? I'm pretty sure it is that much better. They've heavily modified the WoW Classic server code, haven't they?
I think a medal is in your future.
It's faster, but not physically that much better. Really?
Looks like a tense game.
Man, that's like mind-blowing to me.
That one's a rookie.
Nice. So I have had a computer when I was like 3 years old in Romania. I believe it was a 486. And then when we came to Canada, I was 7. And we got like a brand new computer there also. I don't know what that was. I was 7. We got like the original Pentium. Like I've kind of been through the whole thing. When Diablo 2 came out, my computer was lagging. So I went and bought my first video card that I personally installed. It was an NVIDIA Voodoo card. At the time, NVIDIA was like a company for like 1 year and some months. Voodoo graphics, baby. So I kind of been through it. I gotta tell you guys, 25 years worth of hardware, it is that much of a difference.
An upgrade to the arena.
And I also worked in a computer shop. So even on that end, actually I'm gonna buy the other one. Even on that end, the server, because I built servers, because I was like a computer technician, so I built the servers. I probably built several hundred server blocks, and I know what went into them. The hardware was pretty good. And that was like 10 years ago. I don't know. How are WoW servers not that much better than when WoW came out? Like I think the few people that answer that are just straight trolling me. Cuz the computing power is not even close. It's not even close. Like I don't want to just put a number out there, but it's like it's in the thousands times more powerful than 25 years ago.
Keep your chin up.
The issue is the software. Who did I play? Him. Nice.
Good play. Here's your coin.
There's no way Blizzard's ripping apart 20-year-old code to fix some lag.
A star athlete, friend.
I'll be back in a sec.
I think a medal is in your future.
He leveled to 5, but 12 health. Kangor's gonna be good, I think. It's also good. I don't really want to commit to that build, and I really want a Drukhari, though.
You ought to fill out your team.
I guess I will not get one, though.
Steady hand.
I follow the Canada immigration discussion. I do check out a bunch of the Canadian Reddits, so I'm a little bit informed on it. It's tough to say. I'm kind of like alienated away from the core issue. Like, I work for myself at home. I'm in my own house, and when I'm not, I travel to other countries. I really don't have like much of a personal take. But yeah, it does seem like they brought over far too many immigrants without considering the support systems back here. Like, Canada does and has always relied on heavy immigration to support its population. So it's ignorant to say that immigration is bad, right? But it is also foolish for a government to ramp up immigration while not ramping up the services that are needed for the new people.
Wait till you see what's in the trophy case.
I mean, the thing is, the Lullabot really doesn't do anything. fast food place in your city is staffed with immigrants. The Canadian teenagers who'd have those jobs are gone. Well, I don't know.
No need to hold your applause.
When I was a Canadian teenager, I did not have an easy time finding a job either.
And the crowd goes wild.
Let's do a buddy.
Strong one for your team. Gotta trade him out now and then. Wow, a veteran athlete.
Kind of want that to die. But yeah, I guess.
Steady hand.
So, when I was about 16,
Good luck, MVP.
15, 16, I applied at Domino's Pizza. I think was my first. Like, I'm not gonna tell you guys like, oh, my resume was so good or whatever. I don't even remember. It was probably not, but like, it's Domino's Pizza, right? Like, I knew how to cook because in high school, I cooked my own food at home. That's it. So, yeah. I even made pizza for myself before. Several times. What more do you need? I don't know. They never got back to me. Whatever. I wasn't particularly heartbroken about it.
You ought to fill out your team.
That one is not so good. I kind of need two of them right now.
You ought to fill out your team. Make sure to recruit some champions. Gotta trade them out now and then. That one's a rookie.
Yeah. I also applied to a nursery. A nursery, if you're not familiar, is like a place that sells plants, basically, and usually grows their own plants. And I've done some agriculture in my day. One of my grandfathers had a PhD in agriculture and made me do a bunch of work when I was a kid. So I wasn't like totally out of touch with what the job required. I also have pretty good social skills. I don't have any kind of like nervousness talking to people about whatever,
You're at the top
as you
of the
guys
ball.
have been able to tell, streaming now for like 15 years. That was always the case. I wasn't a particularly social teenager, but that's just because I'm not particularly outgoing, but that's not as a result of me not having the ability to talk to people. That's not a problem. Those guys also didn't get back to me. The first job I ended up like getting was working for the company that my mom worked for a few years. It was a dye house. A dye house makes like color for clothing.
A strong athlete. Gotta trade him out now and then.
Rise in your final form.
A strong athlete.
My mom was like, she has a PhD in dye chemistry, so she kind of like ran the place, and she worked there for quite a while, and I went to several parties, like work parties, that her boss put on, and the guy kind of knew me as well because I was the son of, you know, the person who ran his company, and like I was pretty handy. Like, I don't know, I was like Christmas or something, the guy couldn't fix his printer, and none of his family knew how to fix his printer, and I guess my mom told him I'm pretty handy at fixing things, which I am, and I fixed their goddamn printer. Okay. Yeah, this guy gave me like a summer job, and basically I just cleaned up and did a bunch of odd jobs. Like I categorized their inventory and digitized their inventory because I was also good at computers, and a bunch of like odd jobs and stuff. It was like a summer job. That was the first actual job I had. But if my mom didn't have her job, I probably would not have gotten that job, right? So I didn't actually get that job myself. And I ended up doing something similar for not my dad's main company, but one of his friends who does like engineering contracts, that kind of stuff. Similar type of stuff. I did that in another summer. But again, I don't think I would have gotten that job if it wasn't through my dad.
Put me back together again.
Gotta trade him out now and then.
God, this is stupid.
Supreme executive power.
I kind of want a golden summoner here, so I don't want to get rid of those. So the first job I actually got myself, like on my own completely, was where I worked for like a couple of years before streaming. I basically ran a computer store. I applied as a computer technician. Do you know how I found that job? I applied to like lots of places because I just wanted to get a job. I was kind of done university. I applied to tons of places. At that point, I did have some work history, which wasn't completely irrelevant, and I basically had like my school grades, so I wasn't like nothing, right? I was proficient in English, proficient in computers, you know, good social skills. I don't know. I applied to like 20 places, but the job that I eventually got, I basically used Google Earth, and again, this is like 15 years ago. I used Google Earth and just went along the streets around where I lived because I wanted to bike to work. I didn't want to work too far away. And I basically found all the computer stores that I could bike to through Google Earth, and I basically just called each of them up and told them that I'm looking for a job. And one of them said, "Great, we're looking to hire someone." And yeah, I basically went to like an interview. The guy asked me, it's like, "Okay, so like, I want to return a motherboard to you. What do you do?" I'm like, "Well, you check if they're an idiot, and you see if like the capacitors are blown up, and you check if the pins on the on the motherboard where the pieces where the CPU goes are bent because then you can't do anything with that. He's like, great, when can you start? I'm like, oh, I can start today. It's like, great, you're hired. All right, good. That was it. There's a lot of those idiots, by the way. Jesus Christ, you can't even imagine.
Sure to recruit some champions.
Okay, so here I'm actually gonna try to go. Yep, there it is.
Rise in your final form.
Excellent. Wind Fury is what I was looking for.
Supreme executive power.
I don't really care to give them more health. Also, that guy died like a while ago, so do it that way. Well, I built my own computers because it wasn't that hard, and I was always pretty good at fixing things. I don't know, I was just always good at like fixing things and building things.
Today's top scorer.
So it was always pretty easy. But my point is, I probably applied to like 30 different places looking for a job before I ended up getting one. And I wasn't like a complete idiot, right? Like I had pretty good skills. Now, to be fair, this was around 2008, which was notably not a great year to look for a new job. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know when it was easy to get a job, any job in Canada. I don't know when that was.
You ought to fill out your team.
I'm not saying I had it harder than people do nowadays. I probably didn't. Generally speaking, things have gotten harder and harder. I don't know for a fact, right? But yeah, it was not easy whatsoever to get a job, even when I grew up.
Good pick.
Should I maybe do that one? I don't know. I'm thinking probably not.
Steady hand.
But yeah, basically, I was looking for a job right before the economy crashed in 2008 and right after. And it was really, really hard to get any job. Oh, rip. I mean, I think with a Leroy, I can maybe win, but yeah, that's tough. I mean, it looks like I can beat everything else, so... I don't know, maybe I can beat it. No. I think it's not 0 though. Yeah, I could have won. I just needed like perfect RNG.
How's the game going?
Leroy, please. Oh, that's not too bad.
You ought to fill out your team.
Let's actually go for that. Okay.
Make sure to recruit some champions.
Back together again. Put me back together again.
If it ain't broke,
Good play. Here's your coin.
if it ain't broke, still fix it.
Gotta trade them out now and then.
I mean, at this point, I can't afford any other. Nah, it's still gotta be this though. Hiring process is bad. You apply for a job and get ghosted. Your application sits with the recruiter and never makes it to the hiring
You're at
manager.
the top of the board.
I don't know, man. This doesn't look that bad. Again, I think I had a chance. No? Okay, fine.
Play fair and you'll catch up.
Freebie.
Good play. Here's your coin. Now that's a three-pointer. Everyone's rooting for that one.
Replacement detected.
Everyone's rooting for that one.
With the thorns.
So, I'm going to hit this. So this will be my only taunt.
You're today's top scorer.
Oh, crap. Oh, ho, ho. Let's go, dude. Let's go. All right. Bullseye. Uh-oh, we're getting a little wrecked on those, though. Sometimes lucky. Percent? Percent? I'll take it. Dude, it's almost the same for lethals. That was the best robot build I've ever seen on my end. I've never seen him that big. And this is post-nerf.